Aloha class. So I wanted to have an online lecture so that you can, have a different format for class. And so I made up this slide just to try to help you decipher the cost. So make your buy decision. It's not hard math like we've talked about. It's just summing up what both sides, comparing the costs, and you're going to choose the lowest cost because we want to be, an effective manufacturer. And so I made this slide, right? So make side versus the buy side. The buy side, we want to keep it very simple. We will only want the purchase price, right? Don't put any opportunity costs over there. We don't want anything bogging us down. All we want is the purchase price. On the make side, we have our direct material, direct labor, variable overhead. It makes sense because we're making the product just like we would normally make it. So you're going to have all the variable components, definitely. Fixed overhead that would be eliminated if they did not make the product. So if it says in the problem that they can eliminate this expense if they didn't make it, right? So they decide to buy it, this fixed overhead would be totally eliminated. For example, there's a manufacturer supervisor that's only over this product. If we didn't make this product, we could just, cut this guy or get this lady loose, and we don't need them because they're specifically a fixed overhead that's for this product. And so we could eliminate that cost because it's traceable to the product, and right? So if it's traceable to the product and we could eliminate it, that's a part of our make side. And also opportunity costs, right? So the opportunity that we could rent out this facility, it could be like income, but right here we're not looking at income, we're looking at expenses or costs. So this is another cost of making it, because you could be making money, or you could be avoiding, or you could be making money if you bought it, but we don't want any numbers on our buy side. So we're going to put it on this side as a cost because it's a cost of making it. We don't have that extra capacity to rent it out to somebody. So this opportunity cost is weighing down our make side because we could be making money. And so it's adding costs to our make side. So it's important also, this fixed overhead would be eliminated if they didn't make it. Remember, there's overhead that would continue no matter what. This could be like admin. This could be like maybe administration of the factory building. It could be like a production manager over all of the products. And so just because you cut one and you decide you don't want to make it and you want to buy it doesn't mean you're going to cut that person's salary. So there are some costs that don't change between the decisions, and those costs are irrelevant, right? If they don't change between the two decisions, they're irrelevant. The example in class was like Sam Scambino eating ice cream at home or on campus versus eating ice cream at Sea Life Park. The cost did not change between two alternatives, and we consider it irrelevant, and we don't want to get confused with it. So all the fixed overhead that would continue no matter what would be irrelevant, right? So if it continues, it's irrelevant. The fixed overhead that would be eliminated, that's the only one we're going to consider because that's the only one we can control. Some overhead cannot be eliminated, and if it's not eliminated, it's on both sides and it's irrelevant. So there's an example. I have this example in four different combinations of the same problem, and it's just the wording is a little bit different, so you have to be able to identify the wording and know what is going to go into the problem so you can solve. So MC Company currently manufactures the door that it uses for its microwave ovens. Annual cost to manufacture the 40,000 doors needed each year are as follows. So this is total for 40,000 doors. These are our units, and this is the total. And I could divide by that 40,000 to get it on a per dollar per unit basis if I needed to. D Corporation has offered to provide MC with all of its annual door needs. So this is an outside vendor for $14 per door. Remember, going back to those slides, I only want the $14 for the door on the right side, right, for the buy side, and that's all I want, the $14 on that right side. If MC accepts the offer, only 60% of the overhead could be totally eliminated, right? So 60% is the part that's specifically for this product and could be eliminated. That's the only relevant part for this problem, like I said before. So 60% of this fixed overhead is traceable, right? Everything else will be irrelevant because It couldn't be eliminated. It would be on both the make or the buy side and would be irrelevant to decision making. So only 60% of this is going to be the relevant part that I'm going to consider, because if we didn't make it, then we could eliminate only 60% of this. Also, MC has no alternative use for the idle facilities. If the decision was made to go with D's offer based on the information, would MC be better off to make the doors or buy the doors, and by how much? So let's lay out this cost analysis. Remember, only 60% is the relevant part of, right, because 60% would be totally eliminated, and yeah, no opportunity cost on this one. So let's see if I can get my PowerPoint back up so we can look through it. Okay, remember, so I'm going to put direct material, direct labor, the 60% that would be eliminated, no opportunity costs, and the $14 purchase price. So if I got a new slide, or maybe I could just copy and paste this slide and just work on it. Okay, so this is just the $14 here on this side, right? Purchase price, 60%, oh sorry, $200, and we can just do a total because we want 40,000 doors. So 200,000, 40,000, 80,000, all variable. Oh, here we go. Here we go. 200,000. Oh, that's going to throw me off a little bit. 200,000 direct material. 40,000 labor, and 80,000. I'll have to double check that number. Right. 80,000, and then 60% of this, right? 60% of this is the relevant part that could be eliminated. Times it by 320,000. 192 is the relevant part. Oh, and 192. So I could sum that up. This would be what, 200 plus 320. So 200,000 plus 40. Plus 80 plus 192. 512, no opportunity cost that I can see. And then how many were they purchasing? I'd have to get this to be on a total basis, but on my make side it's $512 and $512,000. $14, and they were making 40,000 units, right? So 40,000 times by $14. 560,000. 560,000. So it looks like my make side has less costs, right? And I could see by how much. Right? So 560,000 minus 512,000, I'd be saving $48,000 on the make side. 48,000 it favors making. Right? And so I could look at those solutions and see it's 48,000 better to make this, right? And so hopefully we're getting this, right? So this is one way that the problem could be presented. So 60% could be totally eliminated. Let's look at another. If 60% of the overhead would continue if the offer is accepted. Okay, so this is a little bit different, right? 60% of the overhead would continue. So 60% would be on the make side, 60% would be on the buy side. So if both of them are there, that would be an irrelevant cost, and we wouldn't consider the 60%. So now the relevant portion is going to be the opposite of 60%, or, you know, if we have 100%, only 40% is going to be relevant now. So as we look at the problem, right, as we look at the problem over here, instead of doing 60% as the relevant portion, now it's only 40%, because 60% would continue. It doesn't change between two alternatives. Yeah, and so it doesn't change between the two alternatives, meaning that it's irrelevant. So 320,000 times it by 40%. 40% is now the relevant portion because that's the part that would be totally eliminated, right? 40%, 60% would continue if the offer is accepted. You still have to pay for that one manager over all your products, would continue, right? But 40% could be eliminated, so you'd have to take the inverse on that specific problem. Hopefully this is making sense to you, that you can understand my reasoning, right? And I said that was the 128,000. That was the relevant part. No opportunity cost, so this one looks like it's better, a lot better to make than it was previously. for this problem.